Do you take important decisions in life? Yes or no? Of course you do. The quality of your emotions define the quality of your decisions, which define the quality of your life. The future is filled with tech. It's filled with AI, VR, XR, AR, and it's a beautiful future. But it's up to us to take responsibility for feeling good. It all begins by learning how to control your emotions. You know, when you buy something, have you ever realized that when you buy something on the Monday, you're all excited, and as soon as you hit the buy button, you can literally hear your heart going, ba-ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. And you go to the post office, and it's almost like angels are singing, right? You're like, oh. And you go in there, you get the thing, you're like, oh, I've got it. And you go home, you try it on, whatever, and your dopamine just goes, saboomf. And you're like, what the fuck? I better buy something more. Buying things and dopamine is fabricated happiness at its best. It's literally living a life in a roller coaster like this. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation. You're lying in the sofa, you're watching Netflix on your computer, right? It's not enough anymore, so you need to eat snacks at the same time because you need to add more dopamine. That's not enough, so you drink a soft drink. But that's not enough, so you look at TikTok or Instagram on your phone at the same time as you're looking at Netflix, yeah? Then you've filled your dopamine need and finally feel content. And your brain is going like this. Oh, dopamine. Ah, oh my God, and we don't even have to do anything to get it. Choose happiness. It's your choice to create daily devil's cocktails or create daily angel's cocktails. They come from who you surround yourself with. They come from the thoughts that you think. But most importantly, they come from what you choose to do. So if you choose to induce oxytocin or dopamine or serotonin or endorphins, you can change the state of your mind to see life differently. Well, good morning to you. Are you feeling good? Hey, what's the point of life if we don't feel good? We go on vacations to feel good, you know, we eat stuff to feel good, we save money to feel good, so we can buy something at the end. Winning in life, I think, comes down to the opportunity of feeling good. So, the question then is, have you drank an angel's cocktail today? No? Not yet. But you'll soon consume one. And you're like, well, I had a drink, but I don't think it was an angel's cocktail. So God knows. What is that about? Well, the angel's cocktail, from a metaphorical perspective, looks like this. If I were to offer you, let's say, a devil's cocktail. High levels of cortisol and adrenaline, which more or less is just pure stress for a long time. If I'd give that to you, metaphorically, you'd have smoke coming out of your ears, red-glowed eyes, froth around your mouth, and every time you laugh a bit too loud, he'll stare at you with a death stare. Do you want him like that? Yeah? Really? It's a sadistic person over there. I'll offer you an angel's cocktail instead, where we know that you have a neurosubstance in your brain called dopamine. So we'll add a bit of dopamine to your cocktail, a bit of serotonin, a bit of oxytocin, a bit of endorphins, and a sprinkle of cortisol. And there you go, my friend. And within, oh, I see, you want that, yeah. Again, then within a minute, metaphorically, he'd fold out angel wings. He'd lean over and give you a kiss on the cheek. Very unexpectedly, I think. He'd check, do you need money? Because he's got plenty. Yeah? Do you want my place? Because he wants to switch, because this is better. Suddenly he becomes self-appreciative, self-loving. He takes better decisions. He's more creative. So the question to you all in here today is, can you relate to that you, sometimes in life, you've drank a devil's cocktail or an angel's cocktail? Yes or no? Absolutely. An even more interesting question is, how many angel cocktail days do you have per year? Do you have 50? Do you have 100? Do you have 150? Do you all have equal amounts? And how many do you want to have? Because where did that devil's cocktail come from? That day that you felt that. Where did you go? You didn't go to the kitchen. You didn't open the door. You didn't pick a devil's cocktail. And you didn't go, I'm going to destroy this day. I'm going to fuck it up. It's going to go dark, man. You didn't do that. So the question is, where did that come from? Because I love this conference. I love the future. I love AI. I love virtual reality. Oh my God, but at the end of the day, the core human desire is to feel good and to consume more angel cocktails. So I'm going to do an experiment with you today here. I am going to be so bold that I will show you something, do something with you that scientifically should increase your oxytocin levels so that you can feel what that feels like. And then I'm going to take the opportunity to increase your dopamine levels. And then I'm going to take the opportunity to increase your endorphin levels. So that maybe, for the first time, for some of you, you will feel the difference between these concentration of these three substances in your brain. Does it sound like an interesting experiment? All right. The question then is it important in your job? Well, have a look at this. When they study positive psychology, what they tend to do is they prime the groups positively or negatively. So imagine if I took half you and I primed you positively according to how you do that. And listen how easily that is done. I ask you to read positive things for 10 minutes. I ask you to look at videos which are positive for 10 minutes or talk about something that is positive for 10 minutes. How hard can it be? And I take you and I give you a devil's cocktail by simply, and in this study what they did is they asked the participants to look at negative videos for 10 minutes, talk about negative stuff for 10 minutes, or write down negative stuff for 10 minutes, or watch the news for 10 minutes. And in this case, the doctors were to do a diagnosis to the patient. And listen to this. The doctors who were on an angel's cocktail, i.e. they were primed in a positive state, only 10 minutes, they were more likely to do or rather, their diagnosis were 19% more correct. They were 3 times more creative in the solution to the patient. Their diagnosis was faster, and they were seen as more empathetic. Now, which doctor would you like to go to? Huh? If you had a free choice, I'll go to the doctor that there's a bigger chance that he gives me a solution, that she is more creative, that gives me a more correct diagnosis. Who? First one, right? Yeah. Every single day of your life. Now, you're not doctors, some of you may be, but do you take important decisions in life? Yes or no? Of course you do. And if you take such a decision in the devil's cocktail or an angel's cocktail, makes the entire difference. The saying goes like this: the quality of your emotions define the quality of your decisions, which define the quality of your life. I'll say that again. The quality of your emotions define the quality of your decisions, which define the quality of your life. It all begins by learning how to control your emotions. So, let's begin with a smile. And let's move on to asking ourselves why I'm here. Because this is my actual background. I've been a communication coach for 15 years. This subject I started doing talks on for about 7 years ago. The first TED Talk I've done was how to avoid death by PowerPoint. How many of you have been killed by a PowerPoint here before? Okay, that's sad to hear, but how many of you have killed somebody else with a PowerPoint? And there's more hands, you know. That's just sad. Stop doing that. Why? Is that intelligence? I don't know. Maybe it's vengeance, you know. That one became the biggest in the world, so that's good fun. This one also became the biggest in the world in that niche. It's called the magical science of storytelling. So if you like any of those 2 subjects, have a look at the TED Talks when we're done. The third TED Talk I did was just bonkers. Don't do what I did. So after being a communication coach for about 10 years, I started seeing patterns in human beings, you know, like their behavior. Have you ever seen Sherlock Holmes movies? Yeah. And you can see where he looks at a person and his brain goes, pip, 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 pip. That's how my brain goes when I look at all of you. So, for instance, I look at you and I can see that your head is slightly tilted to the right. And I'm like, why? And does that impact your and my communication? And it does, because human beings tend to tilt their head left or right when we show empathy. So if your cat dies, I'll probably go, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. That would be horrible of me. I'm going to scare you when your cat dies, man. No, I'd probably go like this. I'd tilt my head. And you're doing that all the time. So I'm like, you're feeling empathy for me, right? He's up on stage. This is scary. What is he doing up there? And then I look at you again, and I can see that he keeps nodding his head as I speak as well. He's not alone. There's a lot of you doing this. So then I ask myself, does that have an impact on me as a person on stage? Yes or no? Yeah, because you give me an unconscious signal that you are affirming that what I'm saying is in line with what you're thinking. Beautiful. Now, what I did as a coach, I took those two skills and I gave them to people, and listen to this, people who cared about other people, but they didn't show it. They cared, but they didn't show it. So I gave these two skills to them. Hey, tilt your head, nod affirmatively when you care. And these people came back to me 2-3 weeks and they said, this is insane, David. People connect more with me during these weeks. I have learned more about other people in these weeks. You are simply perceived as a better listener and people like to talk to you to a greater extent. So I thought, wonder if there are more skills like this. So I spent 7 years studying 5,000 speakers to find 110 core skills that you all use when you communicate, and it looks like this. So you, my friend, what's your name? Budgan? Budgan? You have an empowering head angle, number 62. So that's point for you, man. And then you have the amplifying head movement. That's skill 65. So I'm giving you 2 points. Well done. You've probably got way more as well. Beautiful smile and, oh yeah. All right, the thing was this, that this is what I've been doing my entire career. I've been traveling the world. I've been teaching skills. I've been teaching PowerPoint. I've been teaching storytelling. And I've become one of the experts in the world on that realm. But you know, there was one thing that I missed. One thing that was more important than all of these things. Do you know what that is? It's my internal communication. When I say to myself before going into a meeting, before going up on stage, when leaving stage, when going to a date, when going to a negotiation, when negotiating for your salary, your communication with you in here has shown scientifically that if you communicate correctly with yourself, you can increase your testosterone levels, and by so you can increase the chances of getting a better salary when negotiating for it. It starts in here. So when I'm over here, and I'm waiting to go in, there's hundreds of you. Is that intimidating for me? Do I feel nervous? Yeah. So I can either come into you with a state of nervousness, just thinking about, okay, let's do this, 45 minutes, I can do this, you know. I've got to say this, I've got to say this, I've got to go through that, I have this slide, I've got this slide, yeah. But that is not the best state for you to listen to me. So instead out there, I communicate with myself correctly so that I can be the best version for you. So I'll get into exactly how I do that. We're going to start off with dopamine. So dopamine is a neurosubstance which has multiple functions in your brain, but one particular function is this. This is what dopamine looks like or would look like in your brain. It goes like this. I can't wait. It's soon Friday. Oh my God. Or it's Monday. Soon it's Monday. I can't wait for Monday. Oh, my vacation is coming up. Oh, I can't wait. Christmas present. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Soon I can eat that bit of chocolate. I've been longing for that. So dopamine looks like this little child who's 7 years old who can't wait to go down to open the Christmas presents. That's dopamine. And the key core thing to remember about dopamine is that it's the anticipation of reward. It's you looking forward to things in life, buying things, doing things. You know, when you buy something, have you ever realized that when you buy something on the Monday, you're all excited, and as soon as you hit the buy button, you can literally hear your heart going, ba-ba-bum, ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And then you can track it, and you can see that the parcel is coming in on Thursday, can't you? And the closer you get to Thursday, you're like, ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And you can feel yourself salivating, almost like thinking about it all the time. And you talk to your friends about it. They're almost going insane, you know, this new makeup, this new clothes, or this new bike, or this new computer thing that you've bought. And you go, ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Thursday comes. And you go to the post office, and it's almost like angels are singing, right? You're like, oh. And you go in there, you get the thing, you're like, whoa, I've got it. And you go home, you try it on, whatever, and your dopamine just goes, saboomf. And you're like, what the fuck? I better buy something more. Because you've figured out that buying things increases dopamine and feels like happiness. But don't be lured. Buying things and dopamine is fabricated happiness at its best. It's literally living a life in a roller coaster like this. So how can we use, or what are the uses for dopamine? Well, it goes like this. These are the elements of dopamine, some of them at least. Are these important in life? Anyone want to live life without this? Probably not. So as I promised you, I wanted you to get the opportunity to feel dopamine. Now I look at your eyes, and I look at all the cameras that are up recording me, and I can say that I can see on your eyes that your dopamine levels are high, because you are thinking, what is the next thing he's going to say? What's the next thing he's going to say? What's the next? Can that be of use for me? Can that be of use for me? So as soon as you find something interesting, you'll focus. It's as simple as that. But I'm going to take the opportunity to increase your dopamine levels even more. So on YouTube, I have a playlist, more or less, for every substance. So I have a playlist for dopamine, I've got a playlist for oxytocin, I've got a playlist for serotonin. I've even categorized my friends according to substance. If I need endorphins, i.e. a flow of laughter and smiling, I know exactly which 2 friends to call. And you do as well, don't you? So from my list of dopamine clips, I'm going to pick this one, and it's Susan Boyle. Have you ever seen her sing? All right, see, she's from British Got Talent. Nobody believes in her. When she starts singing, the entire thing just goes absolutely silent. People are crying. You know, when she starts singing, goosebumps happen. So I want to show you that, and I want you to just lean back, relax, so that you can feel pure dopamine, or not maybe pure, but to a high concentration at least. And before we go, we need to be in agreement, you and I, because it's going to feel good, and then it's going to feel amazing, and then it's going to feel incredible, and then you and I and all of us in here, we're almost going to climax together. Is that okay? And then we're going to feel pain. And then we're going to feel good. So if that's okay with you, lean back and enjoy.
My name is Susan Boyle.
Okay, Susan, where are you from?
I am from Blackburn near Barking, West Lothian.
It's a big town.
It's a sort of collection of villages. Had to think there.
And how old are you, Susan?
I am 47. And that's just one side of me.
Okay, what's the dream?
I'm trying to be a professional singer.
And why hasn't it worked out so far, Susan?
I've never been given the chance before, but here's hoping it'll change.
Okay, and who would you like to be as successful as?
Elaine Page.
Elaine Page.
What are you going to sing tonight?
I'm going to sing I Dreamed a Dream from the Miserables.
Okay.
It's all.
Yeah? Yes.
I'm sorry, but we were in agreement, weren't we? I'm like, it's going to feel good, great, amazing, incredible. You, yeah. And then I said, we're almost going to climax. And I asked you, is that okay? And you're like, yeah, almost climaxing. Love that shit. And then it's going to be painful. Is that okay? Yes. Humans are weird, right? So just give it to us. All right, what you just felt was an increase in focus, motivation, and creativity and desire. You had the sensation of give me more, give me more, give me more, right? Some of you are so dopamine addicted into your phones, for instance, in here, that you are literally upset with me at the moment. You're like, what a stupid man. He was just getting good. How could he turn it off? I've done these conferences, and you can meet people out there after my talk, and you can see them in the corner going, yeah, we've got to watch the end, man. We're going to watch the end. You come as well. So it was so easy. 55 seconds, I could increase your dopamine to such a level that it irritated you when I removed it. The power of that is insane. So my advice to you is to create a playlist with videos that you know will make you feel, oh my God, I want to go gymming, I want to go I want to go exercising, I want to go to school, I want to accomplish that, I want to do that, right? You know you've seen these videos, you know you have, just collect them in one playlist. Because if you follow the algorithms of TikTok and Instagram, your feelings will become diluted and you won't feel any better when you leave it than when you went in. Control the feed into your mind. So, any other tips for dopamine? Well, dopamine is very short-lived. Has anyone ever experienced that you were, again, exercising, and you looked yourself in the mirror at the gym and you went like, woo, nice. All right, I'm never going to stop doing this. And then you get sick for 2 weeks, and you're like, what the heck? And you don't go back to the gym. Have you ever been there? It's because dopamine is short-lived and dopamine feeds itself. So if you go to the gym on Monday, it'll feed into Wednesday. It'll feed into Friday, and it'll keep you motivated to go to the gym. But if you have a break for 1 to 2 weeks, dopamine goes like, nah, we're doing something else now. So you will learn so much during this day. Upgrade 100 from me. And you go to a conference and you go like, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. But if you just think that, you're not using dopamine in the way that it's supposed to be used or can be used. Instead, create one of these when you get back from this conference. What that means is that you create just a visual vision board, place it by your bedside, so when you wake up every morning, you look at that and you refuel your mind in that thing that you wanted to do, that thing that you wanted to learn, that thing that you wanted to accomplish. Because that is the way dopamine works. It's almost like having a shower. You need to do that every 2 or 3 days, right? Same thing with dopamine. If you don't shower in dopamine, dopamine goes, nah, let's eat chocolate instead. Yeah? This one's an important thing as well, fast and slow dopamine. So to understand this one, you have to understand that the brain is energy saving by nature. Studies have looked at people who have an escalator, like a moving thing, moving stairs, and you have a physical stairs. How many % take the escalator before the physical stairs? 90? 96%. 96% of human beings, they go like, oh, I'll take that one. Have you seen people who've been on a flight? They've been flying for 5 hours and they go, oh God, that was a long flight. Oh my God, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. They get out of the plane. They get up into the hallway, and they've now moved about 50 meters. They now are given the opportunity, escalator or physical stairs. But it's not logical, right? But human beings are energy saving by nature, so listen to this. Your brain will choose to get dopamine in the quickest way it can. So, I don't know if you've ever been in this situation. You're lying in the sofa, you're watching Netflix on your computer, right? It's not enough anymore, so you need to eat snacks at the same time because you need to add more dopamine. But that's not enough, so you drink a soft drink. But that's not enough, so you look at TikTok or Instagram on your phone at the same time as you're looking at Netflix, yeah? Because then you've filled your dopamine need and finally feel content. And your brain is going like this, oh, dopamine, oh my God, and we don't even have to do anything to get it. And then your partner comes along, and says, is it time to clean the garage? Shall we go and clean the garage? And you go like, what the fuck? I get this much dopamine from lying in the sofa. I'll get this much dopamine from cleaning the garage. Which one do you think I want to do? So beware to be hooked on fast dopamine because it may disallow you from actually doing real things in life. And the final thing on dopamine, there's so many on this. I just released a book called High on Life. It's coming out into 32 different languages, which is pretty mind-blowing. And it's coming out in Romanian, but not until a year from now. So if you want that, it still exists in English, and you can look for it on any bookstore or anything like that. So High on Life. In that, I mention loads of tips on all these substances. I'm going to give you one more, though, and that is cold exposure. Anyone here takes cold showers or cold baths, can I see? Well, that's more than the average Swedish audience that I go to. That freaking remain, you're hardcore. All right, listen to this. Studies show that you can increase your dopamine levels by 250% from a 2-minute cold exposure, and noradrenaline levels by 350%. That literally means that when you come out of a cold exposure, you will be way, way, way more focused than before you had it. So just to give you some inspiration, I just did this little clip. It's called Netflix and Chill. I think Netflix and chill actually means lying in a sofa watching Netflix, making out, and maybe something more develops. And as an inspiration to you from Sweden. Space. Now there's 3 advantages with proper Netflix and chill. Number 1 being that your drink can bob around in the water. Keeps it chill. Number 2, even if it gets too exciting in a TV show, you keep cool. Number 3, it's good to be outside. Cobra Kai.
You've done your best. You're ready for this tournament, am I right?
Yes, Sensei! Yes, Sensei! I'll go away. Yeah, I was in there 9 minutes. That was not because I wanted to, but because my cameraman messed up the sound twice. He's under the ice. All right, I'm going to place dopamine over here. We'll place the neurosubstance of dopamine here, and it goes, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. Why did you turn off Susan Boyle? It's a beautiful substance. And we'll place oxytocin over here, because in the spectrum of emotion, it creates the very opposite reaction in us humans. Have a look at these effects. Are these important in your relationships? Yeah. If this doesn't exist in your relationship dies. And you know that this can be created by massages, by kissing, by caressing, by intimacy. But can we create it in ourselves somehow? Well, I'm going to go to my playlist for YouTube playlist for oxytocin. I'm going to pick one clip up, and I'm going to show it to you. Now, it's a clip of a boy. His name is Jonathan. He's never seen color before. He was born more or less colorblind. And his class has given him a pair of glasses so that he, for the first time, can see color. Right? Have you seen videos like this before? Similar ones, yeah? Babies who can hear for the first time and things like that. Again, I just want to ask you to lean back and experience the sensation that may now be different from the previous one. So have a look at this.
Okay, they're all yours. Okay, they're all yours. Let's see what it does. So what do you think then? Look pretty cool? That was awesome. Hey, come here. Come here, dude. Oh, that's so happy for me. Man, you're gonna get in there too. That is so awesome. I told you it's gonna be a little emotional. Hey, now that just tells you how beautiful the world you have. I'm not gonna see it for the first time, right? So be happy, be appreciative of it. Right? That is so cool.
Colors on that periodic table.
But I touched them. Don't you want to touch?
So what does that make you feel? Is there a difference? I can see tears coming down here and there. You probably feel more warm, more present, more caring, yeah? More empathy, correct? And that was from 53 seconds. 53 seconds from watching that, it changed your perspective on things. So, I'll give you maybe the best tip of your life, because this will impact your career and your private life. If you come home to your family, to your partner, to your kids, high on dopamine, that means that you are egoistical in your mind. You're thinking about yourself. Because I don't think you thought to yourself, God damn it, why did he turn off Susan Boyle? My friend wanted to see the rest. You said, I wanted to see the rest. You come home with that in your system, you won't see your kids' eye contact, you won't feel their hug, and you won't really hear the answer to the question you ask them, how was your day? Because you're high on a substance that makes you fairly egoistic, looking into the future. Now, if you just took 1 minute before you went into your family or to the meeting that you were going to go into, which is very important, 1 minute, to induce oxytocin, among other things, you will see their eye contact. You will feel their hug. You will hug them very differently, actually. And you will listen attentively to the question, how was your day? So a lot of speakers that stand on this stage, they are high on dopamine when they come in on stage, or they're high on cortisol. Have you ever been nervous when presenting? Of course you have. How many times has that destroyed a presentation for you? Huh? How many? Multiple times, yeah? That is because you're stuck on dopamine, you're stuck on cortisol, you're just thinking about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to perform, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to go through these slides. No. If you just took what I did, I looked at photos of my daughter. Her name is Leona. She's the most beautiful queen in the world. I looked at her when she was 6, just standing there. When I looked at those photos for 2 minutes, I felt the same sensations as looking at this boy. My eyes teared up. And then I walked into you, because I choose who I want to be in the situation that I walk into. That's choosing happiness. Any other tools that can be used for oxytocin? Well, if I look at you, for instance, I can say that, hey, you have beautiful eyes. And if I have eye contact with you, and as long as that doesn't seem weird or strange, oxytocin will probably be created. Actually, oxytocin has shown to be created when we listen to calm music. So sorry if I in any way intimidated you. Eye contact, to listen actively, to be personal, and to be generous. Just 4 other techniques on how you can be high on oxytocin more often in your life. We're leaving dopamine, we're leaving oxytocin, and we're going to go through one last substance, and that is endorphins. Endorphins are closely related to morphine. Both are painkillers. The one is called endogenous morphine, which means that it's natural to your body. You create it by yourself. Now, the interesting thing with endorphins is that it has these potentials. It makes you more positive, more open, and more pro-social. How many of you would go and buy, instead of chewing gum or instead of like candy, if there was a thing you could buy in the store that within 1 minute would make you instantly more positive, instantly more open, and instantly more social. How many of you would buy that? Every single one would have that in your bag. The good news is you have it in yourself. You can create it within 1 minute wherever you are in the world. So I'm going to show you how to create it. And I'm going to do that by showing you a woman who's overdosed on endorphins. And I just want you to be aware that when we overdose on endorphins, we also become less critical. So let's have a look at this and ask ourselves, does she seem critical to you or not? This is overdosing on endorphins.
To join with you
And to share
and to share
all that is to come.
all that is to come,
To give and to receive.
to give and to receive,
To speak and to listen.
to speak and to listen,
To inspire and to respond. Are you speaking or listening?
to speak and to listen,
To inspire and to respond.
to inspire and to respond,
And in all circumstances.
and in all circumstances
Of our life together.
of our life together. Of our life together.
Loyal to you
To be loyal to you
with my whole life.
with my whole life
And with all my being.
and with all my being
Until death parts us.
until death parts us.
Until death parts us? That's where she laughs? Poor priest, right? Does she seem critical? Nah, her brain has left the room. But you've been in this situation. It was a Friday, right? About 3 or 4 friends of yours. You start laughing, so your tears are coming out of your eyes, yeah? You can't breathe, so you try to hide under the corner of the table, under the table. You leave the room because you can't breathe, right? Because you're laughing so much. Would you say that the quality of your jokes are going up or going down at that point of time? They're so sad, your jokes, that nobody would laugh at them besides you who are already high on endorphins. You have a chemical factor in here which is mind-blowing that we take for granted. We take our feelings for granted, but no. The quality of our emotions define the quality of our decisions, which would define the quality of our life. If you come home to your kids and your family high on oxytocin, your decisions that evening will be very different, and your quality of life will be very different. If you go into a party and you don't feel social, but if you choose to just, like, this is the super hack, go into a bathroom, lock the door, see to it that it's soundproof, sit down on the toilet, laugh hysterically for 1 minute at absolutely nothing, right? Now you leave the toilet again. People are like, that's not the same person that went in, you know? You just do that for 1 minute and you'll become more social. The quality of your emotion will then define the decisions you make at that party, which will define the outcome of your life. Choose your life. Choose happiness. Laughter, exercise, smiling, all of these can create endorphins. But not any smile. It's one particular smile that is more potent than others. It's almost like an angel's cocktail because it can create dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. It's called a genuine smile, and it has a name. It has the name of Duchenne smile. And it means that you use the orbiocular, oculi, and the zygomatic major muscles, like, genuine smile. And listen to this. People who have this smile, the Duchenne smile, they're more likely to be married, less likely to be divorced. They got more friends, deeper friendships, they're happier people, they live longer, and they get to have sex more often. I can see some of you going like, do I have that? I don't know. That could explain one or two things. It's natural. Because I did the same. I walked over to Google Photos and I asked myself, do I have the Duchenne smile? And I went through all my photos, like, no, bad week. Bad month, bad year, bad decade. And obviously you don't understand what I mean here now. But why I started doing this keynote, this presentation 6 years ago, was because I realized I was depressed about 8 years ago. And I had been depressed for 17 years. It was a lifelong depression. Life was meaningless, pointless. I've been consuming too many devil's cocktail on a daily basis, watching too much news, being self-centered, being egoistical, being negative, seeing the world from a negative perspective, hanging out with people that didn't do me any good. I had slowly gone into this depression, so I had forgotten how to smile. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to hack this depression, and I did. By the knowledge I have about the brain and our biochemistry, it took me 18 months. It was the best year of my life. Nothing I will ever do in my entire life will ever come close to going from non-depressed to going from depressed to non-depressed. It makes me freaking tear up when I think about it. It's so amazing to live. It is so amazing to live. Thank you. So that is why I created this presentation, to inspire you to not consume devil's cocktails, but instead understand that you can consume angel's cocktails, because I didn't know. So I want to show you some evidence of the smiling anyway. So I learned how to smile, and this is from Facebook. And every June in Facebook I go, "Happy summer, my dear followers and friends." Yeah, okay, happy summer. And that usually then in Sweden happens in June. So I learned how to smile again in 2018. This was 2014, me going, "Happy summer" to my followers. And that is psychotic, man. That is like, come to my house, I shall dig a hole, I shall put you in the hole, I shall dig over the hole. 2015, this is me after a big keynote, fantastic keynote. Happy summer! You really feel it, can't you? In 2016, happy summer! 2017, saddest of them all. It's like, at least I have champagne. But that's just a false smile, It took me 3 months to learn how to smile. I was the biggest psychopath in the city I live in. Yes, I had like a bus ticket. It's so fucking weird. But I learned how to smile, and in January, I knew how to smile. I practiced all the way until June. This is June of 2018, and it was just a different person, right? Different person. So, saying that, I, from the bottom of my soul, of the bottom of my heart, I hope that I've reached some of you today to understand that it's your choice. It's your choice to create daily devil's cocktails or create daily angel's cocktails. They come from who you surround yourself with. They come from the thoughts that you think. But most importantly, they come from what you choose to do. So if you choose to induce oxytocin or dopamine or serotonin or endorphins, you can change the state of your mind to see life differently. Because at the end of the day, the quality of your emotions define the quality of decisions, which define the quality of your life. The future is filled with tech. It's filled with AI, VR, XR, AR, and it's a beautiful future. But it's up to us to take responsibility for feeling good, don't you think? I hope I've inspired you. Cheers.
I have read your book, like, really intensely, and I plan to go back on it. And I just have one question, because questions from the audience are already pouring in. And my question is, are you happy now?
Oh, yeah.
Every day?
No, I'm not happy every day, no. I think the thing with bad days is that they're great for contrast, you know? If we don't have bad days, we really can't have happy days either, because life is about contrast. The thing is rather how you handle bad days. A lot of people, when they have a bad day, they go into themselves, they go like, "Ooh, life sucks, I suck, everything sucks," you know? But instead you just say to yourself that, hey, I am grateful that I have a bad day, because it'll make the next day feel better. So it's about just handling bad days. Because actually there are no bad or good emotions in any human. There are no positive nor negative emotions. It is only our perception of them.
Just 3 tips.
Well, okay. A, don't ingest a devil's cocktail. Don't look at your mobile phone. Don't look at news. Just don't do that. Just don't start there, because that'll just amplify the bad feeling. Instead, start your day by turning on your favorite music. You know, something upbeat that makes you generally happy. You don't want to do it, but do it anyway. And then you spend 2 minutes being grateful for the stuff you actually have in life. Not the stuff that you don't have, but the stuff that you have. So just lie in bed, be grateful over that. You don't want to do that either, but if you force yourself to do it, it'll happen. And then spend 1 minute as well to look forward to something during the day. Maybe you're going to try a new coffee or a new thing, you know, whatever. Just 1 minute on that as well. You won't want to do any of these 3. But if you do them, 5 minutes later, you're good to go to a much greater extent than if you just rolled over and doom scrolled social media for 25 minutes.
20 squats and 30 jumping jacks.
Yeah. That's another option. And obviously just run into the shower and do a cold shower for 3 minutes. I went to university in Sweden. I had a a half day on how the memory works and how to get their students to remember things. Do you know what they did at the end? These professors, there was like 200 of them. No, one of them goes,
what did you understand?
No, it just leans forwards and says, "So you mean that I have a responsibility for my students learning what I go through?" And I'm like, yes. But I try to be diplomatic, because it's always the sender. It comes down to at least giving the opportunity and the circumstances to learn.
So we're going next to the university.
Yes, that's going to be fun. Q&A there.
It's going to be fun, yeah. Another question about emotions. What do we do to control emotions generated by AI, and how can we protect ourselves from it? There's a lot of anxiety, and I don't think AI is the only source. It's like climate change also. There are a lot of topics.
It's kind of the same thing, right? If an AI has created a news article that makes you stressed, it's the same thing as the real article that would make you stressed. So AI will produce exactly the same things that are currently making you stressed in the real world. There won't be a real difference. The question is, how can we differentiate between AI and reality? And that's not my expertise.
How does the brain make the difference between AI-generated content and human content?
Yeah,
it's a question.
2 years from now, we won't be able to see the difference.
Do you think there is a difference between past generations' use of these substances and their behavior in our generation?
Absolutely. Like literally, if we rewind 20,000 years ago, people were living in groups of maximum like 100 people. They were eating natural food. They were constantly moving. They were sleeping according to the sun setting and the sun rising. Their social status was intact. But now, fast forward 20,000 years, we live like in a world which has just taken our organism out of its natural habitat into a very strange habitat. So and in each year since then, it's been different. But yeah, absolutely. Each generation is going through new things. I think this generation, where you have the ability to compare yourself on social media to anybody, anywhere in the world, that means that you can actually look at a person in the US and become envious because they've got a nicer body than you have. In the US, that person would never even come close to you or even be a competition to you, ever. But through social media, we're impacted by it.
Would you say it's a different kind of survival mode?
Oh yeah, yes, it is, definitely. And we don't learn how to do that, generally. The worst thing in our society today is chronic stress. It means that you've been stressed for 6 months or more, like high levels of stress, because that creates inflammations in the body and mind, and inflammations in the body and mind impacts all our substances, like progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, dopamine, serotonin. And that means that we're less able to have children, we're less able to be potent, we're less able to be happy. So chronic stress is bad. 20,000 years ago, maybe we felt like peaks of stress because we heard something in the forest, or we saw something run, or maybe the food supply was limited, but not forever.
We have one funny question, but it's really cute, so I'm going to ask
A cute
it.
question.
Are your socks the key to happiness? Where can I buy some?
Yeah. Well, these are actually Swedish socks. They're called Happy Socks. So the company is called Happy Socks. I don't think socks make you happy, but I think that if you do like 20 things, small things, that make you feel happier, you will collectively feel happier, like maybe the socks, and maybe eating something nice, and maybe thinking a nice thought, listening to that music. Like, it's the collective power of what you do that creates happiness.
We have a nice moment about socks coming up next, so it's a good question. Thank you very much for...
Beautiful. Thank you.
And one last question, because it's really interesting, and I think it serves all of us here, including us, the team. How to get the most out of this event? What is your perfect recipe based on experiences from the past events?
The vision board. I told you all, when you leave this and you just go, oh, this was amazing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, it's not going to work. You'll fail. Like every other conference that you've attended, most likely you'll forget 99%, maybe 1% you'll remember. No, dopamine works in the way that put that up by your bed, draw, write down the stuff that you want to achieve or accomplish or learn in life. Well, every time you wake up, look at it, feel it. Every time you go to bed, look at it, feel it. And that's what's going to create like this phenomenal movement forwards in your life. Do not rely on your brain, because it's not very trustworthy when it comes to motivation.
Actually, what you just did is gave the audience an insight that we have not announced yet. We will have vision boards and doodling at the end of the event.
Wow.
On the screen, live. We have a team which is already doing this as we speak.
That's great. That's great.
It's been really, really a joy to have you.
I must say, this is the 16th country I go to this year, and it's the same thing as last year. There's a special energy in Romania. It's a special energy among all of you. It's like you care. You care about what you learn. I get that feeling, because some countries I go to, they're like, yeah, more stuff, more knowledge, whatever. So thank you for doing that. That's a nice thing to see.
This one is for you. Thank you very much.